All right. Good afternoon. I'm Alex Duryee, the service manager for archives and special collection systems at Harvard University and chair of SNAC's Technology and Infrastructure Working Group. I'll be presenting on the newly released SNAC ArchivesSpace plugin, why it was developed, how we got here, and what you can expect from the plugin. We'll leave plenty of time for Q&A afterwards. Jason Jordan, who maintains the plugin, is also in attendance to answer any questions. I'd like to start with this quotation from Mark Custer in 2016 on the ArchivesSpace users group list. It's a great start, though, and I'd love to see ASpace connected with other thesauri in the future, and SNAC, of course. As I'm sure many of you are aware, this plugin has been something that both the SNAC team and ArchivesSpace community have wanted for a very, very long time. I have to apologize. I just got kicked at the worst possible time. I got kicked out of Google. 1 second. Okay. Sorry about that. The demand for the plugin comes from the wish to use and maintain data in two different systems. ArchivesSpace is a widely used archival information management system, so it makes sense to develop integrations between a common platform and SNAC. There's also a particularly large intersection of ArchivesSpace users and SNAC or SNAC-interested users. We've often heard of organizations that are on ArchivesSpace and want to use SNAC, but just don't have the capacity to do so. Without an integration between the platforms, using and contributing to SNAC from ArchivesSpace is a very labor-intensive process. A user needs to copy data from a SNAC record into ArchivesSpace, or vice versa. The networked nature of ArchivesSpace and SNAC entity records makes this especially difficult, as synchronizing a single collection can entail copying and updating many linked entities. Record maintenance across the platforms is especially challenging, as updating a collection in ArchivesSpace can entail manually updating many records in both it and SNAC. For a while, one of the challenges in integrating SNAC and ArchivesSpace was the agent's record model in ASpace, which did not fully support many features of EAC CPF. It also lacked the ability to assign multiple top-level identifiers to an agent, which meant that repositories could not support both SNAC and other authorities very well simultaneously. Following the release of ArchivesSpace version 3, which enhanced the agent record model to bring it more in line with EAC CPF, a lot of these issues were resolved. Now that the plugin could focus on data alignment and not trying to work around the limitations in agent records, the SNAC team could really revisit it in earnest. So for a bit of history on the plugin, the first prototype of the plugin was developed by Robbie Hott, former technical lead for SNAC, in 2019. This prototype was designed as a proof of concept to demonstrate that SNAC records could be imported into ArchivesSpace, but didn't really go very much further than that. It was originally designed as an extension of the Library of Congress Name Authority file plugin, which allows for searching external authorities and importing MARC XML into ArchivesSpace. Since it was only built as a prototype, the plugin stopped at searching and importing names. There's no support for resource records, exporting to SNAC, or doing any sort of record maintenance within ArchivesSpace. In 2021, following the release of ArchivesSpace 3, Jason Jordan started to build out the plugin from a prototype into something more ready for production use. The plugin moved from being an extension of the LCNAF plugin to one that more directly integrated with SNAC. For example, instead of relying on MARC XML transformations, the plugin could save SNAC JSON records directly. More importantly, the plugin now supported both agent and resource records, importing and exporting data, and handling linked records. For example, instead of manually exporting each agent linked to a resource, the plugin now allowed for exporting all of them as a single action. This work brought the plugin much closer to something ready for use in day-to-day use, However, it still needed testing before it could be officially released. This was a bit of a chicken and egg problem, where the plugin needed testing before it could graduate from prototype to production, but since it was a prototype, not very many people were interested in using it. In the summer of 2023, SNAC's Technology and Infrastructure Working Group took on testing the plugin in preparation for an official release. The University of Virginia kindly set up a test instance of ArchivesSpace with the plugin installed, which let working group members try different features and document bugs. The main focus of testing was to ensure that the plugin was bug-free and that it behaved as ArchivesSpace users would expect it to. When working with data across two platforms, there are many ways to either overwrite data or desynchronize it. For example, what happens if an unsaved but edited record is exported, or what happens if a name form only differs by punctuation. While testing the plugin, the working group worked with Jason to discuss its behavior and provide feedback on user expectations for its features. The working group also wanted users to feel confident when using the plugin and that they wouldn't inadvertently duplicate or destroy data, so it created documentation for how to use the plugin. Following this round of testing and the creation of user documentation, the working group gave its approval for the plugin's release. It's ready for use immediately, and while we very strongly recommend working with test data while you get comfortable with it, it can be used in production. You can find the plugin and documentation on the technical resource list under the About section on the SNAC website. As mentioned, the plugin supports taking a record from creation to synchronization to maintenance. It supports both agent and resource records so that both platforms can be used in full alignment with their primary record types. Records in SNAC can be imported into ArchivesSpace, which will carry over their SNAC URIs and name forms. Existing agents in ArchivesSpace can also have their corresponding SNAC record URIs automatically imported. New agent records can be pushed back into SNAC, which will automatically save its new SNAC URI back into the ASpace record. In addition to working with new records, agents and resources with SNAC URIs can be refreshed with data from SNAC and vice versa, thus keeping them maintained over time. The plugin also supports working with records not as single items, but as linked networks. The sync function exports linked agents and resources to SNAC and saves back their SNAC URIs. This will enhance record maintenance by removing the need to manually open, review, and update records each time part of a network changes. Given that there are real risks to working with data at scale like this, the plugin also supports both the SNAC development server and a dry run function, which can be used to test how an operation will behave before committing any data. Right now, the plugin is focused on assigning URIs to resources and aligning basic metadata between the two systems. For agents, only name forms are updated, and for resources, only basic DAX metadata is updated. The goal for this release isn't to be a comprehensive cataloging tool, but to establish links between records. These can be built upon in future releases or by other applications. SNAC looks forward to your feedback with the plugin. We're excited to see how you plan to use it, what you want it to do, and what kind of data you want to see move between ArchivesSpace and SNAC. The first release of the plugin is exciting, but not the final word on how ArchivesSpace and SNAC can interoperate. Your thoughts and use cases can shape how it develops. We're also interested to see how you use the ArchivesSpace API to align data across platforms at scale. Using the plugin through the API isn't well documented, but there's real potential for bringing entire repositories into alignment with SNAC, and we're excited to see what comes next. Please contact us with any questions, thoughts, or issues that you may have with the plugin. Thank you for attending, and we'll turn it over for a Q&A.